Hello everyone, MFPallytime here. Welcome back to Total War Warhammer 3. This is the most dire situation we have been in since the start of our campaign. Let's go over everything really quickly. We've been paying off Kolek and his Norska brethren since the beginning of the game. Well, on turn 80, that held no longer, and they declared war. We do have these buildings built up with walls. We were aware that this was a possibility. However, the army that I have fielded at home is an act of desperation at best. Tier 1 units trying to scrounge themselves together to get ready to defend as Karen of the Gore Hunt moves in with an army of unknown power towards our capital region. We did have an army in place for this eventuality, but Grizguts has been moving south to retake territory from the damned western provinces who have been pushing through and reclaiming everything. I do have a new plan for Grizguts. Because Kolek owns this territory just northeast of him, I might cut back through here and retake this just to cut away a little bit of his power. But I believe Kolek, the actual leader, is down here somewhere, so I may need to be careful with that kind of a play. We have so many armies down here in this bottom region because Zhao Ming, the legendary lord of the western provinces, has been causing so much havoc, but we finally pinned him down inside of Knobbly Gorge. He's finally surrounded, and while I have him here, I've been taking the rest of his territory away as well, kind of chokeholding his faction while he's pinned. We have also very recently been declared war against by every Skaven faction. So Ugrok has been making his way west, and just... Oh, Clan Moors? Hold on. Did Clan Moors give us a... No, we don't have any non-aggression, nothing like that. They basically just said they don't hate us. So let's give them a reason to. It looks like they do have an army fielded here, but I can at least encircle this and try to do something. I have way too many Skaven all around me in every direction. We are still on our WA, so we have massively powerful stacks, and that 3,000 gold is going to help out a ton. I'm starting to feel like I might just raise stuff to the ground here in the near future. Give me a little bit of a buffer zone between me and my enemies, but for the time being, we are going to occupy this. Of course, burning things to the ground against Skaven is probably not the best idea, as they can just expand to the ruins. Grimgore is still in the Western Mountains. We did have another greenskin force here with us as well, but in the last episode, the Empire moved in and took them out. I decided I wanted to be buddy-bloody with Vlad, but the more I look at Vlad, the more I think that maybe this isn't the best idea. Of course, he does have aversions against us that aren't helping things, but he's also down to a single settlement now. So if this guy doesn't like me, maybe that isn't the end of the world, but that does severely complicate my plan for how we're going to kind of navigate the political landmine of this area to the west. My plan was to get behind the strongest vampire I knew and let him go kill everything. Oh, but that's not happening yet. We might be able to get on the good side of Kislev because they're technically not part of the Empire and they do like some of the things that we are doing. But that's also a long way to go as well. Not sure how I'm going to navigate the western side here. My gut instinct is to bring Grimgore back home and try to deal with Clan Ferric because this will be overwhelming very soon. However, we did just get a lot of money, didn't we? We could try fielding a new army. We could try just pushing towards the Empire and burning everything down that they care about. And I'm leaning towards that. If I break these settlements down, maybe the vampires will expand to them, and that's how we get a foothold in this region. It's worth a try anyway. That's our recap for the episode. Thank you guys so much for joining me. We do new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, Friday here on YouTube. I am feeling particularly bad for this recording session, but I'm trying not to let it show. Thank you for your patience. So this is a very temporary solution, but I think this guy's going to hit Blizzard Peak. So I'm going to recruit a lord here. Literally the freest lord I have. This one's level 4. That one will work great. Let's get him put inside of the defenses, and then I'm just going to Regiment of Renown everything I can. Again, I will not have the money to upkeep this, probably, but at least it gives him something to fight back with if this guy does move in on me. So in an effort to secure the south, I have been moving Zoc down as well. Mount Thug is in his path. We're just going to very quickly auto-resolve that. Unfortunately, he won't be able to keep moving. I would like to have as much help with Zhao Ming as possible, but this encircle that we're doing is actually working. A lot of the units have taken so much attrition damage that maybe Argor has what it takes. Well, this is gonna be an interesting one. We have Argor and his army set up on a pretty normal looking battlefield. But I think this one's gonna be anything but normal. If we zoom on over to our opposition, you could see that they have their bonus intact, melee units and ranged units working together to be the most optimal as possible. And they look like they're ready. These guys also have superior cannon fire to me by quite a margin, as Argor only has a single catapult in his army. However, if we look over here and turn the UI back on, the enemy is going to have reinforcements. These are the defenses coming in. They'll be here in 6 seconds, so basically at the beginning of the battle. But Plague Father Nurgle was really close to me and is at war with Zhao Ming. So I wasn't intending on having any help in this battle, but Nurgle is actually going to come in for a pretty big flank here. So it's going to be my goal to kind of hold this line, hopefully here. Alternatively, we could try to push up from the mountain range. Ooh, I kind of like that idea. Okay, I'm going to change my whole formation. Okay, so Argor and all of our melee and ranged orcs are going to be heading up this hill on the western side. They will then move to this choke point to turn and face the enemy. Hopefully by the time that is done, Nurgle is approaching from the other side of the enemy army. And let's not forget, we have a 20-stack Wa on the way, which will hopefully move right through the middle. We've been sandwiching this guy both on the world map, and now we're going to try to do it in the battlefield. Let's see if we have what it takes. Let's see if we deserve this victory. Now, I do have a small flanking force that I'm just going to go ahead and put into that tree line. We also have everyone moving up here. I don't know what happened. Holy crap. We also have everyone moving in here to hold the choke. I can do it on this side. There it is. There it is. We figured it out. Our catapult's actually almost in range, so I'm just going to make sure that they will be able to take a shot if they see one. Meanwhile, reinforcements for the enemy are here. 44 seconds on Kugath and a minute on the Wa rolling in, but we still have quite a ways to go before we're really in position. That being said, these guys aren't really hesitating. They're moving in. Our catapult should be able to get some shots here, so let's make sure that it is. Just aiming for some grouped up units there. We should see them get into position pretty quickly. Now, the cool thing about their cannons is that they do need line of sight in order to hit us, and because we're attacking over the arc of this hill, our significantly less technologically advanced cannons or catapults actually have an advantage over their cannons, theoretically, if they could hit anything. Kugath has arrived and his plague bearers are approaching from the northwestern corner. He's a bit of an artillery himself. I'm also really liking how this flank is starting to look. These archers are exposed on the back. The moment I start to move this army, though, they've noticed these guys might be splitting in half to get ready to fight Kugath. Let me focus the enemy cannons with my catapult. I don't want that getting free damage. We saw what can happen with that last time. Yeah, it looks like the majority of their army has turned to face Kugath. As our Wa shows up, though, we're just going to group these guys up in a grid and go. And they're going to march right here, right next to our flankers. We are doing decent damage to these cannons, although they're starting to get in position, and we're going to need to rush this down. Some lightning is coming towards us as well. I'm just going to send some orc biggins down the hill to hopefully wrap up those cannons before they could do anything with them. They've actually exposed them quite a lot on the back here. So these aren't the fastest units by any means, but they may be able to get in range in time to just stop these guys from firing entirely. In fact, they're going into the tree line where they're going to have even worse accuracy. So this is really good for us. Meanwhile, while we're just waiting for everything to really get in place, I'm going to take Argor, our little leader, our little wizard. And since the cannons are preoccupied, he should be free to just kind of zoom right down here. Look at these cannons breaking already. That is how strong we are. Some flying units are on the way, but we can slow down a lot of these guys with the big moon spell. I want to place that right on top of their units if I can. I'm going to have to walk a little bit further to do that. Oh, and they are starting to get some bonuses as well. The moon is down, and we're going to see this thing travel all across the battlefield in just a moment. Hopefully walking over many, many, many of these units that the enemies have. Oh, yeah, that's pretty terrifying. I wouldn't want to see that coming around the corner. Now, let's move my leader back. Let's also set this army up to be in a bit better of a position for this inevitable push. The Wa is moving in. Here they go. We've kind of have this army facing two directions now. So we're also going to flank with our trolls, and second in command for this army, that's Zoc Guzzler, who's going to be moving in soon as well. We should be able to hold the high ground no problem here. We are fighting some shock calves inside of the tree line, but they won't be able to get very much movement inside of the tree line to do too much. So I don't really hate that. We are going to pull our melee boys back just because we don't need them overly exposed there. And with our flanking army, we're going to jump on these archers as fast as we can. But let's be mindful that the leader is nearby, and there's a lot of spells coming our way as well. We might need to back out of this. If we do, we're going to run straight for Nurgle here because he'll protect us. Okay, now our army is going to start moving down the hill to Sandwich. Let's make sure we're facing the right way as well. Here we go. Close that gap. Get my flankers out of here and bring them back towards Nurgle. Where's my second in command? Okay, he's moving. He's moving. Okay, if I can get these guys out of here in time, which it looks like we are, we'll be able to have Nurgle's army take a lot of the incoming damage. And our flank is here as well. We'll have them form up and attack. This feels like the most composed I've ever been on the battlefield. And I know it's because we're in a position where the enemy has a lot going against them. We've encircled them for quite a while. We have an extra attacking AI army coming in. And of course, our Wa is crazy strong. And even has a giant and a couple giants in it in this particular setup. But I actually want Nurgle to take some damage here because taking Nurgle down is still on my very big list of things to do. It looks like this side is kind of collapsing, kind of getting a little yucky, so we'll give them time to regroup. I am also going to focus the catapults in right in here just to hit as many of this enemy army as I can. We are seeing the commanders lock eyes. The dragon of Zhao Ming is heading straight for Festus and dive bombing as we see it happen. Festus seems to be conjuring some kind of spell to hopefully fight back. It was a bunch of swords that he drilled right into the dragon, actually recruiting some Nurglings to move in and help peel off of him. I have heard Nurgle's pretty good in melee, in fact, but I don't know if he's that good. That guy's level 30. Our wizard's taking some damage. Let me just go ahead and get him out of trouble. I'm trying to mostly watch this encounter happen rather than jumping in on it, because both of my enemies hurting each other is a very good thing for me. However, let's not get too complacent. It does look like the dragon is dying, but we can do more to help out in here. That is for sure. I'm not sure what happened to my flankers. Here they are, hiding in some trees. Let's get them mobilized. This might be all we need to really take down some key units in here. Like these crane gunners, I bet that's what was doing so much damage to my wizard earlier. A bit of a sniper unit, maybe. The Black Orcs have been cutting through this no problem. We do have a few, just a couple units still swirling around. I'm going to send these giants in just to see what they're like. And then we're going to give our full attention to this battle going on over here. But surprisingly, it looks like Kugath is winning by a lot. By a heck of a lot. Even with all that fire on the ground. The surround on the crane gunners went by just fine. And yes, it does indeed look like they were probably the ones dealing that damage. They've been surrounded like it was nothing, and we even have some of Kugath's units in here dealing damage as well. The giants are just now getting into position, and they are going to fight this compass as we call in our Wah. They're going to feel the effects of that. I just wanted to see what would happen if we started sending some big units after this thing. And truthfully, I don't even know what it does. It just seems like it shouldn't be there. It is by far the healthiest unit that these guys still have in play, especially after we get on top of some more gunners over there. So let's zoom in on the real battle. It is actually looking way more even now. It seems like a lot of the Nurglings that Festus summoned in have served their purpose. That being said, he's summoning in more, giving him an even better advantage here and dealing a lot of damage to the dragon as it is approaching him. This dragon's actually about to break. The army is trying to flee. How does that work if I have him encircled? Does that mean he's dead? This was very satisfying. This played out even better than I wanted it to. And with that, Zhao Ming, the Iron Dragon, has been defeated. It feels so good to wipe out the guy that caused so many problems for us. But our problems are not over. His faction is still alive. That was just the legendary leader that was taken down. So they could easily re-recruit and get back on their feet very soon. There are two of the Western Province settlements right over here. This has to be a Skaven. Indeed it is, as we see that going up. And I believe we're at war with every Skaven faction right now. Grizguts is in a position where he can cut through and just gobble up the rest of these and then start hitting Kellogg's? What is this guy's name? Kolek, that's who it was, as fast as possible. Meanwhile, we do see the Gore Hunt looming. They will attack soon, and we don't know where. We've recruited everything we can up there. And let's not forget, there is a very big rat to the west of my capital as well that I'm still not too sure how we are going to tie down. So a lot is on the line with how our enemies decide to move in between turns. Kugath, slightly scratched up, is heading back towards his territory. Remember, we're not at war with him, although it does look like he's kind of amassing some units over here. He's also spread plagues to my buildings, even though we're not enemies, so I kind of want to clear him out sooner rather than later. And we do have a lot of units in the area to make that a reality. Clan Rictus has moved in on Darkhold, one of my territories, with a huge double-stack army. I couldn't stop that with the units I have in the region, even if I tried. We might have to abandon this push to the east and move a lot of our forces towards Clan Rictus. That being said, they only beat the place up. They didn't actually take the Darkhold. Oh, there he is. There's Kolek. Found him. And the Falls of Doom are doomed. Now, this guy is taking territory. Yes, indeed, he is. As more of Clan Ferric looms down from above. Granite spikes under siege as Norska moves in from the frozen wastes. They are encircling granite spikes and sending another army to assist. It says valiant defeat. Doesn't this place... I built walls here. Does that mean anything? I can't stop the double stack. I cannot stop the double stack. And they have taken my territory. Okay, we'll start from the east and start working backwards. Artifulatif still wants to take over any settlement that the Western Provinces owns. I'm very well aware this is just a wall. That's okay. I still want to take it over. Arda should be able to do this on his own. They will recruit the legendary lord again at some point, and there is a chance that we lose this building as a result. So I'm going to re-march Argor back towards this, and he'll help. Like, I think he could do it on his own. He'll just grab these two and then back up, and Argor can take these and then back up. Kolek is moving onto our territory. Our nearest unit is Grizguz, who's been chilling over here. He's actually been running south forever. I'm not going to march. I'm going to walk, just in case Kolek gets any ideas. Vale of the Titans does have a wall, so he might have to encircle, but that is a double stack of Kolek right there. Holy crap. Okay. Zuck Spiderkiller has taken over Mount Thug. He is going to march back north. Grizguts is going to need backup for this. There's no way. Even with our Wah for 10 more turns, I serve no master but the dark prince. I don't know, man. What level is Kolek? He was hard when he was low level. 8,000 HP isn't it? Okay. Don't overthink that. Just send reinforcements. This area is now pretty problematic. We're losing gold per turn, so I can't recruit anything else to help out here. So let's keep moving west. Clan Rictus is taking my territory, or at least sieging it, very diligently. We're going to try to backcap behind them. Remember, they're still being hit by these abominations as well. Unfortunately, this is Clan Moors, just an undefended city. We'll gobble that right back up. Clan Rictus should be north of us. I think all of these ruins here are Clan Rictus. So if we can cut off Moors from being able to back them up, that would be good. That being said, I do feel like we need a unit to hold this building, and we simply do not have it. Continuing to look north, Grimgore is in a bit of a weird spot. We probably need him to start cutting east and dealing with the Skaven. I wanted to fight the Empire. That's not going to happen. I'm stretched too thin. We can lose stuff in this mountain range, and that's okay. Grimgore is moving as far east as he can, and I'll try to underway into this desert to fight back the Skaven that are here. Meanwhile, at our capital cities, Arag... Refused. Denied. Wait, is it literally just one guy? It's just one guy? How do we handle this? This is the part I'm not sure on. So it looks like they're trying to recruit a new army here. So we're going to move Arag as close as he can go. And we'll encircle that next turn. His army sucks. That's okay. I can invest a little more money into this army, but not much because our upkeep is getting out of control. So rather than doing that, I'm going to move as close to the challenge stone as I can get. Now, this is a very big city, but I can at least encircle it with a small army. There's a chance garrison defenses run out to stop me. That's a chance I'm okay with taking for the time being. Ooh, look at that. I can't remember the name of this guy. Villatich moving in from over here. That's where that guy lives. Okay. So Chaos Wastes are kind of getting out of control. We knew that would happen eventually. We kind of were prepared for it and then got distracted and moved my army all over the map. I'm okay with losing this territory. That's totally fine. I want to eventually retake everything here in the desert and then push up north and hopefully put a dent into the Everchosen. But so far, we are not there. As we roll over turns, Kugath is moving back to the right. We're not at war with him. Kind of seems like he's starting to take the same route as a lot of the other gods of chaos, where they just don't care what I think and they're going to do whatever they want. Which means we should probably kill Kugath soon. Clan Rictus fighting another territory decisive defeat. That's Darkhold yet again. With everyone dead, they move in. If their stacks are separating, though, this is a good thing. A double stack of Skaven's really hard. A single, I should be able to roll right over. Vlad's moving north again, bringing the fight back to the Empire and encircling them. That is very good for my borders up there. Olek currently just raiding us, is taking 400 gold out of my bank account every turn. What is this army choosing to do? The first stack is moving up to attack the Vale of the Titans, which is a valiant defeat. And then backing up. They didn't take the city. If he's separated from Kolek, I can snipe him. If they restack, that's going to be a lot harder. Kolek might be moving in to finish off the building. They are in reinforcement range with one another. So really, they're just kind of moving through my mountain range like now, not too dissimilar to how they've been doing it the entire game so far. Clan Ferric underweight past my brilliant wall that I thought was going to be an anchor to my territory, and now more of Norska is roaming around. Okay, we'll hit this problem from east to west again. We are going to take this wall settlement after we get out of March stance. We're basically trying to get the western provinces out of the game as fast as we can. So this has been taken over. I'm going to cut north after this, try to take this over. We see Argor is still in March stance as well. And we're going to move Argor northwest as far as he can go, because this is a bridge I'm going to have to pass to get to the port. Looks like they are starting to field some armies, so Argor is going to be met with some opposition, but this is one of my strongest marching armies, and they are still rebuilding for the time being. We lose him, we lose the region, though. Just to be clear, it's not good if we lose him. We are going to see Zoc start to march north towards the Maw Gate to catch up to Grizguts. Grizguts has a 20 Wa and a huge army. We're going to fight. I'm walking right up to Kolek. He's in raiding stance right now. And we're in range. It says close victory even with his reinforcements. I have reinforcements too. Let's see how this goes. All right, boys. Here's the plan. This army actually fields a couple of troll hags who are going to be casting some spells in our back line. We have the Doom Diver catapult set up to fire at the hill where Kolek and his army are currently residing, way back there. Archer boys in front of him, Black Orcs holding the front line, but we do have some surprises. In the tree line, we're hiding 3 more groups of Black Orcs, as well as some of our wagons that we're going to use to flank the enemy as they approach. The enemy is not scared. Kolek is just sitting on this hill ready to go. I was looking at their army, and it doesn't look like they have too many melee units, or too many ranged units. It's mostly a melee setup. So I'm hoping we can draw them in close and then do some pretty big damage. There's the man, Kolek himself. In our previous campaign, we took this guy out first, although he beat up a lot of our buildings before that happened. Now we're on turn 80. I can't even imagine how strong this guy is, but it is mostly a melee army. We do have garrison reinforcements coming in soon. These guys will move in and help reinforce my line here with a flank. And of course, the Wa is going to be doing the same thing from this direction as well, but they will have reinforcements in 2 minutes. So let's get things underway. Hopefully we are in range to start doing something. I'm just going to move a Doom Diver catapult to be able to hit, and we will start things off with that. As soon as it gets into position, we are ready to go. These guys are completely hidden. I'm going to use them for different things, though. They're not going to be attacking the same target. Looks like the Doom Diver would shoot at this guy. Seems like they're trying to get back into that corner as fast as they can. I do see some Chaos Chariots that I didn't know existed. They really do have a very quick, mobile army where mine can adjust, don't get me wrong, but like even setting up for something like this, I don't know if we'll be able to hit that guy before he moves back. Nope. I'm going to try to move these Black Orcs up out of their way as well. I want to make sure they have very clear line of sight. Sounds like some reinforcements are getting here, although I don't know whose. I hear the war horns anyway. Doom Divers are in range. Will they get a shot off in time? Looks like they'll be able to. Once it connects, here they are. We should see this army start to move forward. Or continue to sit here and take the punishment. I don't mind if they do that. Looks like our Wa is first to arrive. They are looking ready. We're going to keep them away from our main army. Although keep in mind, there is more reinforcements for the enemy arriving right now as well. I imagine they'll be moving in soon. Swords and boards up front, spears behind them, and then archers behind them, and we'll figure out the specifics of this formation as the army approaches. Our other reinforcements should be here. Are we at unit limit? Never had that problem before. It does look like some of the enemy army is starting to advance. A lot of trolls moving up the left side here. We're still getting free pot shots in, so I'm going to continue to take it. Our Doom Diver catapult ammo is looking fine, and these guys are actually in range of more of my catapults now. So they might be trying to hide in the trees, but I don't think that's going to do too much good. Actually moving my forward catapults back, as since these guys are in range for these, we don't need to risk them with any aggressive positioning. Those shots are still landing as well. So they have a level 5 Lord who's already wounded. We should be able to eat him up pretty quick. These chariots I'm trying to save for hitting Kolek to try to reduce his armor. As we're sized up like this, the enemy actually does have a slightly favorable lead over me. Let's see if you can inch up a little bit and just keep sieging. Oh, here we go. Some monstrous trolls, the wired spawn, are starting to move around the outside. Looks like these guys have a bit of a ward to protect them. Are they going for a huge flank? Kind of looks like it. Try to move all the way around to the other side. Well, we'll just set up one of our Black Orcs over there in that choke. Maybe 2 of them in that choke to make sure that doesn't happen. These guys were just sitting in a tree anyway, ready for a moment's notice. If he's trying to test me with that, that's not going to go very well. Let me select my catapults, and we'll have all of these guys aiming at a single group this time. We'll have them all focus down these dogs. Now, these are going to move, and I'm probably going to need to relocate my catapults, but I just want this guy to know he's not safe holding right there. And these guys actually aren't doing too well in their leadership. Once these catapults land, it's going to get even worse. Oh, yeah, dude, that's a lot of damage all at once. That may have been enough. We are starting to see the army move in big ways. And it looks like they're about to start charging forward. Although nothing too crazy yet. More Doom Divers landing. Even if they miss the dogs I'm aiming for, they're doing a lot of damage to everyone else. We are starting to see more units appear from the tree line as well. I'm going to move back catapults a little bit and then give them a new target. If they charge right in, we'll be okay. I've never really felt siege advantage this hard as an orc. These guys are kind of screwed. Kind of screwed. Let's hit these chaos trolls that are moving up with some catapults as they're approaching the line. That should be some pretty easy shots for our Doom Divers, and we see some already on the way. Yes, indeed. Oh, yeah, connecting real good. Although they're just kind of shrugging it off. They're kind of healing through it. All right, the armies are about to clash. We're going to send in the Wa now. Bring them along the side, and that should be pretty terrifying. Let's lock their formation a little bit. Keep them a little more organized. Okay, you guys hit here. I'm going to split this off so the right side kind of reforms here, and the left side continues to kind of just push and form up. Although they are pushing left really hard now. Let's go ahead and move these Black Orcs back towards our front here. We also have our boss that we can send over to the left side to help out a little bit too. Okay, we're no longer posturing. We are fighting. Get over here now. Our catapults are going to start to run over these little dudes here and hopefully start to deal some pretty big damage, while our flankers, who is this group, after they get set up, I want them moving into the back to fight. Okay, so we are starting to get a surround. Our leader is doing fine, positioned on the left, but here comes Kolek. Okay, let's start casting some spells. This is Swap Breath. It should do a powerful explosion onto Kolek to hopefully deal some big damage. We need to get these Black Orcs moving towards this fight and not just watching on the side. And catapults hitting as many spots here as we can as well. These Black Orcs are going to be able to move up to reinforce. How did that powerful explosion go? Unfortunately, I did not see it. We're going to Spirit Leech Kolek and hopefully drain a little bit of his life away, as more Black Orcs are moving into this to reinforce. The flanking team is looking really good. Let's start moving them in now, hitting anything they can to push back towards our army, where this huge scuffle is continuing. Now, I did have a plan for my chariots. Where are they? Chariots, this way. I need you to hit Kolek. I need you to lower his armor. Once you get his armor down, we should be fine. I just need to get them going in that direction. They were actually fighting the other enemy army leader in the field. So as long as our wall holds over here and Kolek can't break it, which it so far is looking all right. Let's get some more explosions on this side if I can. Moving my troll towards it. They actually sent a wyvern after me. Let's make sure we're getting shots into that as well. Catapults are at half ammunition right now. Where's my other troll? Let's get her cast in with a big explosion into this group. And our Wa is ready, so you know it's firing. Kolek is taking a lot of damage here. Let's get more of our Black Orcs in position. Once that Wa went out, his leadership went down to nothing. And here we go. This is what I like to see. The flanking force is making quick work of everything that's passed through on the right. And we actually divided this army quite well, if I do say so myself. We're going to see Swamp Breath again. I think it's better versus single combatants, but I just haven't seen the explosion yet. Looks like Kolek has completely broken. He's running for the hills. We're going to have our catapults. You know, those catapults are fine, actually. Let's see this explosion. Yeah, this should be good. It's versus a single combatant. There it is. It looks like we just put more goop onto them. Well, considering that's a Nurgle unit, they may not mind too much. Let's Spirit Leech as they are approaching as well. And we're sending one of our second-in-commands over to help out. Meanwhile, our chariots are going to start to go after the other enemy leader. It looks like they were already on that, doing very good damage. Let's get these focused. Oh, is that what Spirit Leech is? I've always wanted that ability. I didn't know what it was called. My archer's in a bit of a bad spot here. We'll call back one of our Black Orcs to help defend. Meanwhile, the flank is still going well as our units are just ripping right through any opposition they find. Our archers are getting a little too stacked up. And to be honest, it does look like the majority of our Wa was eaten alive by this. But our main marching army is still doing A-okay. The second-in-command for Kolek has just been taken down. The Black Orcs are going to continue to cycle, and he's in fact been killed. And Kolek, the grand leader of this army, is running for the hills. I knew I'd be fighting Kolek eventually. I didn't think the battle would be over here. I didn't think the battle would look anything like this. And I also thought he would put up a bit more of a fight. Our second WA is ready. Our Doom Diver catapults are going to be, if I can find them, are going to start to fire into this clump over here as hopefully the rest of our marching army nears victory very soon.
Stop.
And there you have it. Kolek lost 1,200 units in that fight. 1,300 units. I almost lost the same, but I have 3,000 more ready to go. In fact, most of the units that we lost were just in our WA. Most of the main army is unscathed. So I'm going to try to sell him back. Kolek has not been defeated, although his army is running. What about his little friend here? That's just a hero. So I'm going to jump into this building to start regenerating. Kolek will be able to get an army back really quickly, unfortunately. But hopefully he's going to spend most of his time running away from me. While that's happening, I do want Zhao to move in and start to take these buildings away. But that may be easier said than done. Grimgore is leaving the central mountains now and heading towards Silver Pinnacle. The Skaven that have been invading my desert here will feel his wrath very, very soon. We know Kolek isn't home, so let's get Slagga up to the challenge stone, and we're just going to encircle this bad boy. I don't really want this territory, but let's recruit this. We'll continue siege. I don't see a way that we win this. If they fight out, if they march out to fight me, the garrison defenses, I mean, that might do it. Arog is within range of the granite spikes, and he is going to retake this territory. Decisive victory with his regiments of renown. I'm still a little unclear how this guy managed to take anything by himself, but if he's just moving around raiding, that's not really the end of the world for me. Looks like Kolek might have another territory here. Does he have a grand total of 5 now? Yes, indeed he does. So we know where all of the Heralds of Tempest are, and we have a plan for moving in and taking them down. However, the war host looms, his army's getting bigger, and well, because we're attacking his friends, that makes me feel like I'm an even bigger target than I was before. For the time being, I think we have stabilized, although it may be on the edge of a cliff. So with 10 turns left on our WA, most of our enemies learning to respect the greenskin a little bit more, but some gigantic battles looming on the horizon. That is where we are going to end today's episode. New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you know, health permitting. Thank you guys for being here. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you again very, very soon.